All righty, man. Dude, okay. So like Friday, Sunday, and today, I went to the driving range. I've probably hit like 500 golf balls in those three sessions.
Nice. You doing like you getting better?
Yeah, I am.
Good.
I am like noticeably better. Yesterday when I went with my buddy Nick, the range has these they're like targets. It's just like a big like ring pipe with like canvas stretched on it with a target on it essentially.
hmm
Uh which is there for you to practice like chipping. Like you chip and hit that or get close to it for accuracy. And I hit that thing 8 times, which
Nice.
may not sound like a crazy big deal, but I mean that thing is like I don't know, probably a good at least 50 yards from where you're standing. So to hit
Yeah.
it that many times and probably like 100 balls, honestly.
Yeah.
So I realize that's a low percentage, but I mean, I've only been out a handful of times this season, so I was more than thrilled with
Yeah.
that.
Hell yeah, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah. And I'm really, really bad hitting my driver. Like I almost always will choose a wood. Um, and I don't know why, because I feel
Okay.
like everybody can just crank their driver and they suck at everything else. Um, but today I really noticed some improvements with the driver too. So I'm gonna keep at it.
What about the driver makes it harder? Is just because you start on a tee? Is that what makes it a little bit more difficult or
No, I don't know. You think it would be easier because the surface area of the driver head is just way bigger than the other clubs, but
hmm
there's just something about it, man. It's the longest club. It's got that fat head on it. And if you don't hit it in the center of that side, you just don't know where it's going.
I
And for me,
gotcha.
most of the time it's either going right along the ground or like 150 yards to the right.
Yeah.
So, but today I don't I gave myself like I'm like I'll hit the driver 10 times because I don't want to waste all the balls.
hmm
And I'd say about half of them I was able to hit straight. So I'm like, all right, we're gonna keep at it. I'm
Nice,
also
dude.
watching a lot of videos. Um,
Oh, I've seen the TikToks you watch. You've shown me
what do you mean?
the golf girl TikToks.
Look, whenever you start watching golf videos, they throw every kind of golf video at you. And also everybody, it's nothing that crazy weird, okay? It's just a hot chick who's good at golf. All right. And I showed Casey because he just happened to be there too. Um, and then I've also been listening to an audiobook that Tiger Woods wrote, he just kind of explains his thought process and his techniques on how he hits stuff. It's like, well, if anyone's gonna know, it's Tiger, right? So maybe he can help me fix my swing on a couple of things.
I hope at least once he goes, and don't worry, it's all in the hips.
Oh man. So yeah, the Two Worlds podcast community golf outing will be happening this summer.
Perfect. I'll go to Goodwill and buy the best golf set I can find. It'll be a plastic one.
Hey man, you can get some good finds there. I've found a couple of clubs there before. But anyway, Mad Lib.
Let's do it, man.
All right. This is called a trip to the mushroom planet.
Ooh.
A verb.
Let's go with fuck.
The delay. Adjective.
Quick.
Nah, do something different.
All right. Harry.
Okay. Don't know that that's any better, but we'll go with it. A number.
12. I'm just fucking with you. 69.
Nah. A place.
Um, I don't know, like fucking the Bermuda Triangle.
Noun.
Cum shot.
Plural noun.
Cum shots.
All right. Part of the body.
Long.
I bet all the listeners are just they're saying it before you do on
Yeah, I
all
hope
of
so.
these. Verb ending in ing.
Screwing. Wanted to mix it up a little bit, but not too much.
Noun.
Grass.
Plural part of the body.
Balls.
Plural noun.
Um, Horse sticks.
Person.
Jake.
Color.
Rainbow.
Man, I bet a rainbow is just like the saddest looking thing to you, huh?
Dude, you have no idea.
You don't even know what it's supposed to look like.
I hear it's awesome. But gay pride parades, I'm just like, why are you guys celebrating that shit? It's just a bunch of just the same colors. What are you doing?
An adjective.
Sad.
Okay. Celebrity.
Uh let's go with Donald J. Trump. I was gonna say Epstein, but I'm like, we already did him, so we can't have that again.
That reminds me, if you think of it after the podcast, I have a very funny golf and a Trump related TikTok I would love to send you because it's hilarious.
Okay. Is it those guys that are like shit talk people while they try to
No,
golf?
no.
Okay.
An adjective.
Um Hurriedly. Or that'd be adverb, wouldn't it?
Yep.
All right. Um Colorful.
Plural noun.
Nipples.
And a verb.
Um Shooting your load right when your whole family walks in to surprise, like do a reverse surprise birthday. So they're gonna be like, ah, it's your birthday surprise. And then you just shoot it right there.
All right. That was a lot to write.
Yeah. I like doing those ones for you because it just makes me laugh.
All right, here we go. A trip to the mushroom planet. Looking for the perfect location to fuck on your next vacation? Come visit the mushroom planet, a hairy destination that truly puts the fun in fungi. Located at only 69 light years from the Bermuda Triangle, at the edge of the Cumshot Galaxy, the mushroom planet boasts fields of cumshots as far as the schlong can see. If you love spending time screwing in the great outdoors, the mushroom planet is the place for you. Surf down enormous mushrooms on a grass board. Exercise your balls by wandering through the endless fields to pick mushroom shaped horse dicks. Try to identify the species using the Mushroom and More guidebook written by local expert Professor Jake. But never eat the rainbow mushrooms. They'll make you feel sick and sad and give you hallucinations of Donald J. Trump. We hope to see you soon on the mushroom planet. You'll receive a colorful welcome from the nipples that shoot their load during a reverse surprise party here.
I mean, that one kind of worked.
I think I shoot a pretty good promo for the mushroom planet.
I do. I agree, man. I think we got a new advertiser.
Please, Sega, hit us up.
I mean, I was just gonna say Mushroom Planet.
Well, how about both? Okay, ready for the regular stuff? All righty. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Two Worlds podcast. I'm Jake, and with me, as always, is the Steve Wilkos to my Jerry Springer. It's Casey. What's up, buddy?
Not much, man. I'm not gonna lie. I know who Jerry Springer is, but I don't know who Steve Wilkos is.
Oh, Steve was his head bodyguard, the jacked, bald guy.
Oh, okay.
You didn't watch very much Jerry Springer, did you?
I didn't. No.
I did. I watched a lot of it, actually.
That's gonna come in handy for our Fantastic Four later tonight.
Excellent. All right, before we get into news, we have to announce the winner of the March Madness Grand Finals. And the winner, drumroll, was Cowls over Domino Masks.
Oof, that was like the I don't know if you saw the Twitter poll, but that one, it was 3 for Cowls, 0 for everything else.
Yep. It was a lot closer on Instagram, but between the two, Cowls ran away with it.
Yep. I was actually it's too late, but I told Cowls that they won. I was gonna call them. But they're like, oh, I'm sleeping now. It's too late. But you would have had a conversation. We had, like they got the trophy. So Cowls, no, they won.
Right. Okay. Well, good. Well, we'll see what we come up with next year.
Yeah. Give us some ideas. Just, if you have any.
Yeah.
We'll try to be a little bit better and end it in March.
So real quick, we did have a YouTube comment, but I want to read here from last week's episode. It's from Nick, who has he shops at comic headquarters. Nick's a super cool guy. He has his own podcast called The Cigar Pulpit, where he smokes and reviews cigars. So if that's something that interests you, check it out. I always love talking to Nick when he comes in. So hopefully you all will enjoy listening to him talk about cigars. But anyway, he says, you guys missed the obvious choice of the Spot for helping you move. As long as you can keep him from stealing your stuff, he can make those portals and just move everything super quickly. And maybe Gateway from the X-Men. So he was way more smart about it than we were.
100%.
So thank you, Nick. Appreciate it. So now we'll get into the news. Casey has a few more things than me, so I will let you start first.
Oh, did you see the new Flash trailer, perchance?
Yes.
What'd you think?
I hate to say it, but I want to see the movie, man.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm still kind of like, I remember watching that trailer and be like, oh, this is fine. And then now I've kind of like, well, after I saw the trailer, it's all just kind of left my brain. So like it's kind of just, I don't know. I think if I had a bigger love for Michael Keaton's Batman, I'd be more invested. But I just kind of like Michael Keaton's Batman okay. But like I'm, you and me both are at the age where it's like, this wasn't as formative as the animated series Batman was. So, it's not as big of a deal for me anyway. But what
Yep.
about it were you hyped about?
I just want to see how Batman and Supergirl and the two Flashes are gonna work out. Um,
You were like a workout montage is what you're getting at?
yes, for sure. And I mean, if I'm honest, man, no matter how we feel about Ezra Miller, I just want more DC movies.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things where when one comes out, it's hard for me not to be a little bit excited.
Yeah. No, it's my it's the same problem outside of like the personal stuff with Ezra, but it's still like Ezra's Flash just kind of sucks. Like
Yeah.
it kind of peaked with the Snyder Justice League, but even then it still was not a good Flash. And we even said that then.
Yep.
And
He's the weakest part.
yeah, it's like it's still I still feel the same way. So, it's just like a whole movie with that. It's hard for me to get hyped about.
And not just that, two of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think a lot of people are going for Michael Keaton.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's the big thing. I think that like the people like the people born like 2 years before us and up are gonna be all about this.
Yeah.
And then speaking of trailers, we got a teaser trailer for Twisted Metal. I mean, it's a teaser trailer, so it's hard to get too excited about, but it's also like, man, I don't know. I don't know why anyone would put Anthony Mackie as the lead in anything because that dude's got the charisma of Chris Evans, which is to say it's not much.
Yeah. I didn't see the teaser. I just saw the picture of Sweet Tooth.
Sweet Tooth looks sweet.
Yeah. Like young Jake playing PS1 would be losing his mind seeing this trailer.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe it'll be fun. If it's gonna be like Death Race or something, then which it should be, then it's probably gonna be pretty fun.
Yeah,
But
I think it's gonna be fun, but it's also just like Anthony Mackie as like your lead.
you know who he's playing?
I think he's supposed to be Roadkill, which that's gonna be kind of confusing because I remember reading because like I don't know about you. I loved the Twisted Metal 2. Twisted Metal 1 I liked a lot, but Twisted Metal 2 was like the one that I really, really loved. And it was so hard though. So like I never beat the game when I was a kid, but I read what happens to each person and like spoiler alert for Twisted Metal 2, guys. But Roadkill is actually Sweet Tooth. And there's no way Anthony Mackie is Sweet Tooth. So I don't know how that's gonna
How
work.
did that work?
He's crazy. Like I mean that's the most basic way of doing it. It was like his he was like because his whole thing was like, oh, I know you're playing a game. Like that was his, and then like with this, it ends up with him being like finding out that he's actually a clown, the clown or whatever. It was something like that. And yeah. But I don't know. I'm just not a big Anthony Mackie fan if you haven't been able to tell. So I don't think it's gonna
I had
be
no idea.
don't think it's gonna be too hot. Like I think he works as Falcon and Captain America because it's like, yeah, flex that personality you don't have, bud. Because you don't have to do much. It's just I'm the shield. The shield's me. America.
He was
And
totally fine in the TV show.
I mean, I'm sure he was fine, but I'm also sure he didn't have much personality.
He had more personality in the show than he did in the movies.
Okay. Um, I'll just do a little bit more. So Blade is gonna start filming in May, so that's fun.
Allow me to
Surprise.
piggyback off of that.
Yeah.
So one of my bits was that Marvel hired True Detective creator Nick Pizzolatto to write the script for Blade. So if that's new news, maybe Nick's been working on that for a lot longer than the announcement.
Yeah.
If they're gonna be filming next month.
And it might just be, like basically like, oh yeah, here is the basic script. Make it good. And then he has to do that type of thing.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna mention a few casting stuff and I'll let you talk a little bit more. But so Andy Samberg is going to play Scarlet Spider in Into the Spider-Verse 2. I'm not a fan of that. I think Andy Samberg's got too much of a Andy Samberg sounding voice to be Scarlet Spider. I think Scarlet Spider should just be the same dude they cast as, Spider-Man.
Right.
But
Why is that, Casey?
I don't want to spoil Clone Wars for those that haven't read it.
Oh, that's funny.
But yeah, so I mean, like I said, I'm not a big fan, but at least Scarlet Spider's gonna be in it. That's pretty cool.
Agreed.
Mike's gonna be so pissed though, because there's gonna be so many more Scarlet Spider cosplayers now, because it's such a cool costume that people want to cosplay as it.
It is a damn cool costume.
Okay, then this one I'll save this one for last because it's the weirdest one. But Josh Gad is going to be in the MCU Wonder Man show. It didn't say who he was going to play, but apparently he's going to be in it.
So when I first saw that, I thought you put as Wonder Man, and I
No,
was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
we already got the Wonder Man cast, dude.
Well, yeah, but I thought maybe it changed.
Oh, okay.
It's like, boy, that is just terrible casting.
No, dude, it's just like when Chris Pratt was fat and he then got Star-Lord. Josh Gad's gonna get huge.
Maybe he's still like 4 foot tall.
Yeah. Well, he'll
He
get
could be
the
Wolverine.
there we go. Wolverine. Yeah, I mean, because Hugh Jackman, he's got the friggin' song and dance background. Josh Gad's got it. It'd be perfect.
Yep.
And then Palm Clementieff is confirmed she's in talks with James Gunn to join the DC universe. So that's neat, I guess. I don't know who she'd play. They didn't really say, but she's just in talks.
You mean the most boring character on the Guardians lineup?
I mean, in all fairness, it was just like James Gunn going, "Oh, this character's weird looking. I want to add her in there. What are you gonna do with her? I don't know. Okay, go ahead." But the last one, and this is the one that I'm just like, who in their right mind thought this was a bad idea? But also, why am I into it? Antonio Banderas is reportedly in talks to play Galactus.
I don't really have any words for that.
I mean, it's a neat idea. It's not like I said, not something I would ever have done. But boy, I can't wait for the Puss in Boots and Galactus cross. So yeah, like the when people can take the voice from Puss in Boots and toss it in Galactus. It's gonna be so good.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Okay, so Green Arrow, which came out this week, has already been extended to 12 issues. So congrats to Joshua Williamson. He will get to do a second arc on that book. Who knows? Maybe after 12, the numbers will continue to be high and he will get to do an ongoing.
That's kind of dumb to me. Not because I don't like Green Arrow, but because like the whole point of this, if I remember correctly, it's like the finding Ollie. Like that's the because like at the end of Dark Crisis, which you totally read and you didn't leave me in the lurch. Ollie's
You're
missing.
welcome.
Yeah, Ollie's missing. And so this whole book is going to be the other Green Arrows and Dinah finding Ollie, basically. And so it's like it should just be, was it 6 issues or whatever? So it should just be 6 issues, and then they should just have an ongoing Green Arrow book after that. Like that just makes sense to me, like
Who's
logically.
to say that it won't become that?
Well, I'm just saying it's like, oh yeah, here's our Green Arrow mini finding Ollie or whatever the fuck you want to call it, and then being like, okay, now here's our Green Arrow book. You know what I mean? Like how they always do that type of stuff, like, Flash Reborn and all that other nonsense that they'll always do.
Well,
It's
I'm willing to wait and see what that second arc's gonna be. I don't
yeah.
know that this means that finding Ollie is now gonna take all 12 issues.
Yeah, I
Because
hope not, because
that would be too much.
that'd be too much stretching. Okay, so
But yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
no, you're good. I'll just do my last two bits and then we can end on comic news. But Kristen Ritter was on Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum, and she said, and this could all just be her just, sworn to secrecy if she said anything, her firstborn would be shot, that type of thing. But she said she has no clue if Jessica Jones is coming back. She's like, I hope she does because I love the character and everyone seems to, and they tell me how much they love it. But I've not heard anything. But Marvel's really secret, so who knows? That's all it boiled down to. But it's like, man, it's kind of surprising.
Yeah, I'm just almost positive that she's been doing something.
Yeah.
I mean, it's come up so many times.
Yeah. And then the Craven the Hunter movie will be rated R, and Rhino is going to be in it. And I
Like
don't,
Paul Giamatti, Mechanical Rhino.
I doubt it. I have a feeling it's going to be just a regular old Rhino that Craven kills. No, I think it's going to be just, just guy in a suit.
I'll take guy in a suit over that big dumb mechanical mecha rhino.
I know I've told you this about this, Jake, but for those listening, type in after you're done watching this 3 times, type in on YouTube Chris Gethard show the dumpster episode and watch the whole thing. It's wonderful. I'm not going to spoil anything other than just watch it. There's a big dumpster. They have to get, like, people have to call in and guess what's in it. It's it's the best. Just watch it and then comment down below like the dumpster episode is great. I'm commenting on this so to help the algorithm. Thanks, Casey. Just comment that whole thing.
All right, there you have it. And the last bit of news, we got 2 new DC comic series announcements. The first one, no surprise at all, a Power Girl series written by Leah Williams. She's been writing the backups in Action or Superman?
Action.
Action. Different artist, though. It's not Marguerite Savage on the art. It's Eduardo Pansica, who's also incredible. And then we've got a Fire and Ice series written by Joanne Starer and art by Natasha Bustos. I don't know what the Fire and Ice series is going to be about, but any initial thoughts on those two?
For me personally, I liked the Power Girl series, but as a backup, but not as a book on its own. I'm not going to be able to check that out. And then the Fire and Ice one, I'm kind of interested in, but that's one I'm going to have to wait for other people to read before I check it out because it's like I like those characters, but I have a strong feeling that they're going to be taking a lot of ideas that Tom King had in the Human Target book and be like, oh yeah, Guy Gardner, he's a real piece of shit. And he, probably beats ice. Let's keep that going. I have a feeling that's going to probably stay in because that's something that, people want to do because it's like, why not? Because that's the popular thing right now with that, with those characters. That's more than likely why they're getting this book.
Right.
What about you, man?
I'll more than likely check out both. I like the Power Girl backup more than you do. And then, because of how much I love JLI, that Fire and Ice are pretty high up on a list for me. So I hope that it's good. I'm not familiar with the writer. I've heard of the artist. I it's like you said, I know it's not going to be like JLI, but I love them enough that I at least want to read the first issue. And if it turns out to be a Tim Drake Robin, then I won't pick up anything else after that.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, what did you read this week?
I read a good bit this week, man. I've got
Same.
Doom Patrol 2, Green Arrow 1, Dead Boy Detectives 5, Thor 33, Daredevil 10, Vader Black, White, and Red 1, Behold Behemoth 5, Doctor Strange 2, Action 1054, Dead Romans 2, Detective 1071.
Nice. So I have Blue Beetle, Graduation Day, 6 of 6. Clobbering Time, 2. Blue Book, number 3. Hulk, 14. What's the Furthest Place from Here, 12. The Last Ronin, Lost Years, number 3. Unstoppable Doom Patrol, 2. The Dead Boy Detectives, number 5. Doctor Strange, number 2. Detective Comics, 1071. Thor, 33. Behold Behemoth, number 5. Daredevil, number 10. And Action Comics, 1054. Sorry, I was boring you.
Dude, it's late. You got to cut me some
I
slack.
know. I just wanted to say that. Well, you want to get started or do you want me to?
Sure. I'll start with Green Arrow, number 1. It's written by Joshua Williamson with the art by Sean Izaakse. I thought this book was great.
Good.
Like really, really good. Art is super cool. Yeah, like we just mentioned a few minutes ago, it's Roy, Connor, and Dinah trying to find Ollie. One of the best parts about this, the 3 of them are like in an alley they're in Gotham. They're trying to figure out where Ollie's at. They're beating up on some Riddler henchmen, and the new Cheshire Cat shows up. And Casey knows because he was reading Ramvy's Catwoman. The new Cheshire Cat is Leon, who is Roy's daughter. And Roy calls her out and it's just like, hey, I know I've been gone a long time. If you don't want anything to do with me, that's fine. But just know if and when you're ready to talk or, be a family, I'm here. And I really expected some teenage angst and her to be like, fuck you, dad. She didn't do that. She ran over and gave him a hug and like, no, let's be a family. And I'm like, thank God. Because dude, ever since the rise and fall of the Justice League around Cry for Justice, was that the James Robinson thing?
Yeah.
The Green Arrow family has been an absolute shambles. Roy is just like, fuck you, Ollie, I'm gonna do heroin again. And I'm seeing shit and I want my daughter back, and it's just a mess, right?
Yeah.
I thought this was gonna happen with this again, but it didn't. We actually just got a happy little moment right before it's ripped away from us. Because Cheshire gets like teleported away, and she's like, what the hell? So she's on this planet. Manhunters are like chasing her down, and then this super cool like sci-fi Green Arrow shows up. Pretty awesome looking, right?
Yeah.
Shows up and helps her. And this is the one part that I was kind of like meh about. He's like, follow me, kid. We'll see. Well, I'll show you what's going on. And he brings her to this portal It's like, it's a teleporter. She's like, great, we can get out of here. And then he just shoots it with an arrow and blows it up. And he's like, we can never go home. And that's how it ends. So obviously there's a reason, like he knows something, but it was just weird to be like, come on, kid, I'll show you I'll show you what's going on. Then he's like, you're never leaving.
Yeah.
But whatever. Williamson is a very good writer. I know he's got something planned for this. The rest of the book was excellent. I liked it a whole bunch. It was just so refreshing to have a Green Arrow book that didn't suck. And it's been a long time since I've been able to say that, despite what other people think about the New 52. So I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. We'll absolutely be picking up the next issue.
Okay, so two things. First off, did you tell Scott about it? You know, because he's like the biggest Green Arrow fan either of us knows.
I did, and hang on, I got it right here.
All right.
David Nakayama, or DNA as he goes by, did a B cover. So I'm going to gift it to Scott as a little surprise. But look at this thing.
Okay, that's rad as hell.
Right? So, but yeah, I just know Scott's going to love this. This is everything he's been waiting for years.
And then I also just want to say, I always think it's funny when this is the space version of Green Arrow. It's like still got an bow and arrow.
Yep.
It's like, oh, I mean, you got all of this technology. Like, fuck it, I need a bow and arrow.
Yeah, but at least the bow is a little futuristic, and by that I mean the string is like made of some sort of energy, but it looks
space
cool.
String.
Yep, it's space string.
I mean, like, it's a cool design. Like, I'm not gonna like shit out like that, but it's just silly to me.
And also, I was a little surprised because the last Green Arrow issue or the series haven't done so well. I sold out of this week at the shop. So
I mean, I think it helps putting Williamson on it, and then also like having the whole team there, and
yeah,
having a purpose with this book.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think that okay. So next up, it's Blue Beetle Graduation Day. Josh Trujillo is writing it, and Andrea Gutierrez is doing the art. The art's pretty hit in spots. Like, there's times where it looks really cool, but then there's other times where like they do too much with the facial features, like with Batman and stuff. Where I'll try to find it. Batman like is in the background, and he like right here. That just looks silly.
That looks silly awful
to me. Yeah, and then like in the background, right there.
Yeah.
So they're doing too much, but there's other times where it looks good. But yeah, that's just kind of the end of the thing. They turns out that the people that have been talking, the Reach or whatever they call, I don't remember what they call themselves, but they were actually wanting to be saved, to be rescued, and so Jaime and the Justice League that's with them is there. There's a nice Superman moment and stuff, and they save him, and it's all good. Black Condor also, I don't think I've mentioned, but he was on the Justice League in this book, which I'm like, I hope he is a full-time member. Like when the Justice League finally comes back, it's like, yeah, Black Condor's here. Like, why?
Because fuck Martian Manhunter.
Yeah. So I'd be all about that. But yeah, no, this book is just not my cup of tea. Like
I forgot to write this in the notes, dude. But this last week they announced an ongoing with that creative team.
Yeah, well, they're doing, like it says at the end, to be continued in Blue Beetle Scarab War #1 out in September. And I'm like, boy, I'm not invested in this. I'm not gonna pick that up at all.
Yeah. We know why they're doing it though. We got a movie coming out.
Which at least they're finally doing that smart. Like most times they'll be like, oh yeah, that movie's coming out. Well, guess what? Batman's dead. He's not going to be in that. Like, it's like, why did you kill Batman off right before Dark Knight Rises comes out? Reasons. Like, okay.
Yeah.
So,
but here's the thing, though. I hope that whoever the audience is for this comic, I hope that they're reading it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I mean, it's got a lot of stuff that's like enjoyable to it. It's just like not my cup of tea. At least this time they didn't switch it randomly to Spanish. Like I didn't hit the random Spanish subtitles while I was reading it. So this was
Yeah.
one of the stronger issues. I just was like left still going like still not super into it. I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. I think that it will find an audience, and hopefully you'll sell out at your store every week now that one less person is going to be getting it.
What would you rate the series as a whole if you gave that issue a 6?
I mean, I remember what I said about the others. I'm probably going to be like a 5.5 or a 6. Like it's like I said, it's fine. The art's kind of hit and miss. Like sometimes I'm like, yeah, this is really nice, and then other times I'm like, what are you doing? And then the story
Right.
itself just kind of like mediocre.
I got you. All right. Darth Vader, black, white, and red. The list of creative people includes Jason Aaron, Leonard Kirk, Romulo Fajardo Jr., Peach Momoko, Torrin Gronbeck, and Klaus Janson. It's fine, dude. It's fine. I think I'm just a bit anthology book out at this point.
Yeah.
Um, the art is pretty killer in all of it. Peach had her story is just some weird, trippy dream sequence, but it looks amazing. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's cool. It's just Vader short stories, but it's one of those things where I'm reading so much that this just doesn't make the cut for me. So, I'm gonna give it a 6.5 out of 10. It's not for me. This also sold out this week. The Star Wars people are super excited, and I'm happy for them. And I hope that all of them think that it's a 10 out of 10.
Preston, let us know down below. Is it a 10 out of 10?
Yes, please, Preston. Let me know what you think because I know you were super excited.
Okay, so Clobbering Time #2 by Steve Scroats and Brian Valenza on the art. So when this came out last month, I didn't get to talk about it because it was our C2E2 one, but this was a very disappointing book for me. And it lived up to that this week because it's Wolverine and thing doing stuff, but it's just like
Dude, the cover grossed me out, by the way.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like I couldn't, I had to stop looking at
those
it.
that are listening. Yeah. But so things on Krakoa and he's doing a speech, and then some people show up to attack Krakoa. Wolverine and him are destroying the robots, and then the guy's back at the main guy with all the powers back at the bar, and they go there and they start fighting. And here I'll show you, Jake. He actually, that happens in the book.
Ugh.
And then Wolverine, like, because he's the dude's like the dude that's doing it's an idiot, and he's like, apologies for stepping on your classic line. By the way, what was it again? Here comes the Powie. And then Wolverine goes, nah, you're thinking of it's Clobbering Time. And he's like, here's my version. He just starts stabbing them all in the gut.
That's funny.
And then, yeah, the dude gets amped up and just like melts all of Wolverine's skin off the bottom half of him.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. And so that they fight for a bit. The dude escapes, and then the next issue, the Thing's gonna have to team up with Doctor Strange. But yeah, so it's fine. It's just like it's not near as much fun as I was hoping. Like I was more expecting what I got this time than what the first time, and I was like, boy, this is not near as good as I was wanting. So I'm probably at a 7. It's just like
So a 7, and the fact that it's a Thing book tells me you're gonna keep going with it.
I mean, yeah, I think I read 50 issues of Immortal Hulk, and that wasn't enjoyable for me. So,
All right. Dead Romans #2. It's written by Fred Kennedy with art by Nick Marinkovic. Like I said with the first one, the art's cool. It's just like the Romans versus the random clans of that area. I'm blanking on who they are, but there's some political intrigue, some action. It's fun. I don't know of anyone else that's reading it, so I'm not going to go into any more than that, but I like it well enough. 7 out of 10.
Nice. Okay, so next up, it's Blue Book by James Tynan and Michael Avon Oeming on the art. And you know how I liked the last issue, Jake?
Yeah.
And, I was like, oh, this is getting good. And then now I'm like, this book's $5. And I couldn't even get through it. I did not like, I'm going to give this an incomplete, but it was like whatever the opposite of captivating is.
Boring.
Like, not even boring. It just was like, as I'm reading it, I'm just like, I'll try it later. And I'm like, no, I can't. So I'm gonna have to drop that book. And like I said, I'm giving it an incomplete. I don't
Can I
know.
see the cover?
It's a solid cover, I think. But it's just the story itself, it's just not doing it. And for $5, it needs to be a good story, and it's just not. I mean, like, as I was reading this, I was like, I'd have more fun with this book if I was just listening to what happened to these people on a podcast, and then I'm just gonna find a podcast and get the story that way because it'll be more entertaining.
Look, I tried to tell you, man. I tried to tell you.
I know I like that type of shit though, bud. You're not the type that's like, I'm gonna listen to a 2-hour podcast on aliens.
But what I'm getting at is I felt that way about it, and now you're saying this about it. That says how
Yeah,
not good it is.
yeah. But hey, if you're listening and you're like, I love this book, then let us know. Let us know what I'm missing out on. And if you hate it, you're like, yeah, you're right. Or if you just have $5 that you want to give me to make up for it, do that too.
Did you read Doom
I
Patrol?
I did.
Okay, then I think I just have our 8 mutuals.
8? That sounds like a lot. Probably is though, because we have a lot. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Yep. Okay. So I got 3 more to talk about really quick. First up, Hulk number 14. And this is by Ryan Otley. I think he does the art for both. This is a lot of fun. This is like the best Otley led issue so far, which is like, it seems like he's finally kind of catching his stride at the very last issue. But yeah, so they stopped the big, monster, all that, and
Titan or whatever.
yeah, they figure out they beat that, and Bruce gets a nice little note. Doctor Strange helps. It's a good time. Really, really excited for Philip Kenny Johnson to take over though. I'm like super pumped for that. Yeah, this is, like I said, a solid end to like a very mediocre, like a very like a fucking hilly ass run, because it was like it had some nice peaks, a lot of fucking lows too. So yeah, I'll give this issue a 7.5, and then like this batch of the Hulk probably like a 6.
Not great.
Yeah, I mean, at least it only lasted 14. It wasn't 50.
True.
What's the furthest place from here? Number 12, and this is by Tyler Boss and Matthew Rosenberg. And we get to see the old folks home again, which was pretty funny. And yeah, I like this book a lot. It's like I said, it's silly. And like one of the people that's there, like one of the old ladies that the old lady keeps telling her, like, you should not be here, like the main character that's there. And the girl doesn't pick up on it, then she ends up, you know, the girl that it gets gruesomely killed, and I was surprised by that. Like it was a very good, like this is just a very good book. Like it's hard for me to explain what's going on because it's such a out there book, but I would highly recommend this if you like, if you listen to vinyl and you wear like, you know, plaid shirts and you have glasses, you'd probably like this. If you're a hipster, is what I'm trying to get at, you'd probably like this book. Yeah, I'm gonna probably give this a 8.5 on the cusp of 9. It's very good. Last Ronin, Lost Years. And this is by friend of the podcast, Kevin Eastman. I'm gonna try to get the whole group. It's Kevin Eastman and Tom Waltz with SL Gallant on the art. And yeah, I love this book. I love the new turtles so much. Like so fucking much. They are just the like if Kevin Eastman does anything to them, I will not let him come on the podcast ever again. Because they
I
are just
will.
the best. Because like one of them, E cuts herself on accident trying to, because she was like, oh, I wanted to do this stuff in the shop while you guys weren't in there, and she's like, I cutted myself. They're like, oh man, little girl, how do you manage that? It's like, I was trying to slice some wires in Grammy's garage, but I slipped and now am I gonna die? And so then April just, bandages her up and helps her out, and like, yeah, they all have like these much different personalities than, the old turtles and stuff, but they're still like so friggin' cute and likable. In this, Mikey's blind when he's doing his like talk back thing, and he's learning how to work blind. And then the bad guys attack, though. They do some shit that pisses me off, and then he gets his eyesight back at the end, and he's seeing something he doesn't want to see, and it's very good. This is a very, very, very good book. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. It's my pick of the week. I liked it a lot.
Very nice.
Now I'm ready for Muchi time. I'll let you decide the order because I did last time.
Let's go Behemoth, Doom Patrol, Detective, Daredevil, Thor, Sandman, Action, Strange.
Okie dokie.
All right. So Behold Behemoth, number 5, final issue by Tate Bromble and Nick Robles.
I didn't know this was the final issue.
At least of this arc, I think. Because it says end of book 1.
Oh, okay.
Wasn't into it, man.
Really? I was.
Yeah. At the end of it, like if this weren't the last issue, it was gonna be Jake's last issue.
What about it didn't you like?
I'm just reading it and I don't like the pacing of it. I think the pacing is just weird between the stuff with the Behemoth and then what's his name is just like injured the whole series. And then the other gal steals the girl. And like the power levels aren't really explained. I don't know. It's just not for me.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I don't, because I'm not a big fan of the jumping around between the two, and it's just kind of like almost seems like they're making up stuff as they go along. But where I was talking about like Blue Book wasn't captivating, I was very captivated with this. So like even there's crap about it that I don't like, I'm still like I want more answers. I want to know more, and I'm still pretty invested. I still like this issue a good bit, and I do want to see since like I hope it's just like the first arc because I do want to see more, and I love the art in it too. But yeah, that's the big thing for me.
I'm giving it a 4.
Wow, we are a lot different. I'm probably gonna go 7.5.
Hey,
Well,
they can't all be bangers.
yeah, can sometimes just be mash. But next up it is Unstoppable Doom Patrol, and this is by Dennis Culver and Chris Burnham on the art. What do you think of this, man?
This book is very fucking weird.
It's a bit fun though.
Yeah, I I'm very invested in Velvet, which is the name of the little worm.
Yeah,
Uh I'm curious what old Peacemaker has in store for that cute little worm.
yeah. That end had me laughing so hard because that's not what I expected.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, you mean like the fastball special part? Yeah.
So funny. But no, this is like this book and the last issue both. I did feel a little bit like they were trying hard to be as weird as the show,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of hit and miss for me with this. But at least this one was funnier than the last issue, so I think that helped it. Um,
Yeah, I need them because it's only 6 issues. I need them to explain the whole Jane Chief thing like soon.
yeah, I wonder how much of Jane being boss came from Gerard Butler's or
Apparent I
Gerard
Gerard
Way.
Way. I heard none of it.
Oh, okay.
I heard that this is just starting with this series.
I gotcha.
So,
That's a bit annoying then, but
mhm.
yeah, I mean, I like it, but I'm not loving it. I'm probably at a 5.5.
I didn't like it as much as you, so I guess I have to go 5.
Well, I mean, it's your rating system though, man. It's we don't have like a specific two worlds rating system.
Yeah, but still. Um, I mean, it's not that far off from what I was gonna say anyway. And also a lot of it is, yeah, it might fit this book, but I still don't really like Chris Burnham's art. So
Yeah, it's so weird because it's like Chris Burnham on Batman and Robin was just like top tier shit, and like everything else I've seen him in, I'm like, oh, like it's either not good or it's fine. Like this is fine. I like this
I
okay.
think it's fine too. Um, but I don't love it.
Yeah, but like his X-Men, that was some rough stuff.
Yeah, agreed. All right, moving right along. We got Detective 1071. It's written by Ram V with art by Stefano Raphael, Ivan Reis, and Eduardo Pensica. So where are you at on this one, dude?
I really wasn't into it too much. I'm kind of getting tired of this run or this arc, I guess. What about you?
Same, because I there's so many new characters and so much background stuff. I can't keep them straight.
Yeah.
So I think that this arc would be really cool in a trade paperback.
Yeah.
Uh, but dude, month to month, I don't remember what happened the last issue.
Right. And then
So
it doesn't help that like every single of the all these new characters are like, oh yeah, they have a mustache and goatee and long black hair.
right.
It's like there is nothing that like really differentiates any of them from each other except for like the lady. And it's like, oh, she's a lady. That helps, I guess.
Yeah. But see, Ram V is a good writer, and the way he writes these issues, it all feels important,
Yeah.
but I'm not remembering it.
Yeah. No, I
And
agree.
I don't have that issue with other books, so I don't want to say that it's me. Maybe it is, but it's to the point where I'm just like, I don't know why I'm getting this because I don't remember it, and therefore I'm not enjoying it that much anymore.
Yeah. No, I'm right there with you. It's one of those ones where it's like it's getting to the point where I'll probably drop it and go to the next one. But it's like I like Ram V, so I like, getting a book that he's doing, but I don't know. It's
Yeah.
just not doing it. Oh, did we rate that one?
No.
Oh, what would you rate it?
I'm gonna be generous and say 6.
I was thinking 5, so let's leave it at that. Then Daredevil number 10 by Chip Zdarsky and Marco Cicchetto on the art. Art in this is good. And yeah, I like this a nice bit. What'd you think, man?
I like it too, but I've been waiting to ask your opinion. Do you think that Daredevil takes Spider-Man in that situation? Like, do you think it was done well enough, or do you think Spider-Man wins that?
I think it was done. It was written in a very smart way because it was like, first off, Daredevil's got the enhanced everything right now,
Yeah.
and then he's also, basically should have lost, and the only reason why he didn't is because Spider-Man's his friend. You know what I mean? So like, yeah,
Yeah.
I think it worked 100% that way. Um, but I do think the Avengers are kind of,
Douchey?
yeah. I mean, it's like there's been enough times, and this is comic book logic, so it's hard to be like too mad about it. But there's been so many times where like, and maybe since it's Daredevil, like maybe if it would have been like, because Daredevil did go crazy. I don't know how long it would have been in comic book time, but it would have been, I think, 3 writers ago. He went crazy and took over a building in New York and beat up Iron Fist, because he had like the hands power and stuff. So maybe that's why they're not too trusting of him. But you'd still think with everything the heroes have been through, they could be like, let's talk to him first.
Here's why that's extra annoying for me as like a somewhat newish reader here. They all like this Avengers team just went through Devil's Reign with him. So why isn't Cap giving Matt the benefit of the doubt? That
Yeah,
really bugs me.
no, I agree 100%. And yeah, it's just the only like the only one way that they could try to work it in differently. But if Iron Man was being a douche to Elektra, because Elektra
Par for the course.
because Elektra went after him this last time, and then that started up a fight. But it was just kind of like, no, we're here for a fight. And then it could also somewhat be because they had the fucking gas going that makes people more aggressive, so that could have played into it. But it's also like shouldn't play into it with Black Panther and Iron Man.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's just like just it seemed a little bit out of character for me, but I like the issue, and Chichetto's art is very good.
totally agree. Totally agree. I mean, I my Cap complaint doesn't outweigh the goodness in this issue.
Yeah.
Because man, you get plenty of cool action too. And really, for me, the highlight of the book is the interaction between Daredevil and Spider-Man. So
Yeah. I do think it's funny though, where it's like because in like Captain America's book, Cap would be like, "Oh yeah, we need to do something about the prison industrial complex," and in this, Daredevil is, and he's like, no, we have to vote on it. The thing we've done for years.
Yeah.
That'll fix it.
I mean, Daredevil does call him out on that though.
Yeah, I know it's great. It's also like I could see this dialogue actually happening, so it works. It's just funny because it's just like, buddy, come on. I mean, he was helping for a little bit, but then he kind of went on over. He got in over his head, but
Yeah.
I'm at a 8.5, I'd say.
I'll go 8. All right. Thor 33 by Torrin Groenbeck and Juan Gedeon. I like Gedeon's art more in this issue than I did the last one. I think he's kind of got a Chris Samney thing going on in this book. And I dig it. I'm loving where this is going. It's Doom is just so crazy in this.
Yeah.
And I think it's fun to watch Thor just try to figure out what to do with that. I also really like how Hela's written in this too. I think Groenbeck does a really good job with Hela. You can tell that she just loves all these Asgardian characters so much. And again, she keeps adding to like the Asgardian mythology stuff. Surtur bringing his flame to craft this stuff way back when, I think is pretty cool. We just have to see where all this is going, and apparently it's going to some crazy 3-way fight between Thor, Thanos, and Doom, which is going to be fucking awesome. So
yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, no, I think it's fun. I knew I wouldn't like it as much as you, but
Yeah.
but no, I think it's perfectly good. Like this is probably my favorite Groenbeck Thor book so far that I've read because I've been kind of cool on them so far. But I like the art a lot, and this one was pretty, like I said, pretty cool. I think the next one's gonna be even better.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it an 8.5.
I'll say 7. Now, next up, it's Dead Boy Detectives, issue 5 by Pornsek Pichetshote. I had to pull up the notes for that one, but I still really like this book. The characters are really cool, and it's also just drawn so disgustingly. What'd you think?
Yeah, I love it. The gross parts that you're talking about, I mean, was like extra fucking gross this time.
Yeah.
Um, but I absolutely love it. I don't want this to end. I'm gonna be really sad when it does end.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's just, this is a fun ride. Like if you're listening to us, you'd probably like this book. It's just, Pornsek is very good too, like just as a writer from, Good Asian to this. It's just, this is good. It's fun.
Yep.
So
I'm gonna give it a 9.
yeah, I'm gonna say 8.5.
Okay. Then we've got Action Comics 1054. It's written by Philip Kennedy Johnson with art by Rafa Sandoval. No, that's not correct. The cover's wrong. Because
Yeah.
inside it says the artist is Max Rayner.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
But I think Sandoval did the variant cover, so that's why it says that.
Yeah, but it shouldn't.
Yeah, I know.
Huh. Anyway. Yeah, to no surprise, I thought this book was awesome.
Yep. No, I loved it too. The one thing I don't like is that like Superman now has like these new powers. That's just kind of annoying.
He wasn't strong enough before, dude.
Yeah.
Come on.
But I kind of wish I not kind of, I do wish we could have talked about this book last month when it came out, because like I would have called, Cyborg Superman. I'll spoil it. I would have called that because I was like, that's who I was thinking, has to be, since it's not Lex.
I didn't know. I had no guess, so I was
Yeah.
pleasantly surprised. Um, but it's cool. And also, Johnson, you beautiful bastard. The way that Superman goes to Metallo, kicks the shit out of him, and then offers a hand and says, "Hey, let's go save your sister, big guy." It's like,
Yeah.
so good.
It's like, do you, and like, I just love how he's like, do you really think so little of me? Like, I'm not going to save your sister. Like, come on, you idiot.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. I just love it so much. Art's really good too.
Yep.
And did you read the backups?
Yep.
Okay. So we got the backup by Dan Jurgens. He actually did the pencils this time. It is a shame not to get Lee Weeks, but Dan is a more than fine artist in my opinion. So
I like when he does the pencils, but I will say you can always tell when Dan does the pencils, because if he's got a dark-haired guy that's younger, they're all gonna look the same.
like Dick Grayson.
Yep.
Um, and also this isn't a knock on Dan. I think it's hard for anybody to follow up Lee Weeks personally. Um, but I like the story on this a lot. I love how John feels about Clark. It's
Yeah.
just he's so matter of fact on how great his dad is, and it's just nice to see. And then also we got that little twist at the end that I personally was not expecting.
Well, after she was talking, like told her story, I was like, this might be what happens, but I wasn't sure. Or I was like, either that or they're gonna try to help, and then it turns out like, because revolutions happen for a reason usually. It's not just people are like, ah, we're hungry and our great king and queen weren't feeding us enough.
Yeah. All right, and then the last backup is all about steel. And it must be on the final page
It
here.
is.
It's written by Dorado Quick with art by Yasmin Flores Montanez. I couldn't really get into this one, if I'm honest.
Oh, really? I liked it okay. I thought it was perfectly fine. It was just like us. Basically, I think it's mostly just to get you prepped for the Steel comic that's coming out, because it's like, here's his whole story.
Right, but I thought it was kind of weird that it wasn't written by Michael Dorn.
Same. I thought that was odd too. But yeah, I mean, it's like, it's perfectly fine. It's just telling you everything about Steel, and then it's just saying, well, you'll probably read some more of it later.
Yep.
But
Um,
but it was like, I do agree, it was a weaker backup.
yeah. Like if Power Girl had been in this, it would probably be a perfect issue for me.
Yeah.
Um, but that being said, still liked a lot. I'm still gonna give it a 9, and this one is my pick of the week.
I'm going 9 also. The main story is so solid, and then the other two stories are fine, but they do kind of take away from that main score. But the main story is so dang good. Man, Hallie is lighting me up, and she is having the most rancid farts, and it is terrible.
Did you
But
give her a burger?
no, I got home and she's on the bed, and she's just all of a sudden just started farting. But next up, it's Doctor Strange, issue 2 by Jed McKay and Pascal Ferry on the art. We get some Moon Knight action. You pretty excited about that?
I was. I like the interactions between the three of them. I think it's
Yeah,
great. Did
but
you like it? Because you're
I
not a
did.
Moon Knight fan.
Yeah, I'm not really a Moon Knight guy, but this was a fine book. What'd you think of it?
I like the story a lot, but man, I'm gonna say it again. I'm not feeling the art. I'm just
I
not.
I think the art works well with this. I wouldn't want like, I don't know, a Daredevil with this art, but I think it works well with Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
But
fair enough.
but I but I don't know, this some of the stuff with the story kind of I thought was okay, but it wasn't as good as the last issue, and it wasn't as good as anything that happened in Strange.
Yeah, for sure.
Like this was a weak, like for Jed McKay's stuff he's done with Strange, this was the weakest issue yet as a whole. But yeah, I mean, it's still fine.
Yeah, absolutely. I like the scene where they're talking to Nightmare and like everybody there is just like ran through with spears and stuff. Looks really cool.
Yeah.
Um Plus, I just like the Moon Knight Clea friendship. You know, Moon Knight's
Yeah.
like, this is a bit out of my wheelhouse. Let me call my friend Clea, who I know can handle this.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, more good than bad. I'm just not hot on the art. I'm gonna give it an 8, but know that like I still really like this book and am excited for the next issue.
Yeah. I'm gonna go 8 also. I think it's good and it's solid. It's just like, could be better. And it has in the past. But what are you
Yep.
excited about in the coming day?
Um, I know you're gonna say it too, man, but finally Shazam.
Yeah.
Um, because there's not a lot for me this
No.
week. I'm also gonna say Moon Knight, and then probably the next Demon Wars, which is the Peach Momoko Marvel Universe stuff.
Right on.
How about you?
I'm gonna go Flash, Joker, the man who stopped laughing, and then Shazam also. Because that's like I only have 2 other books I'm getting this week.
Yeah.
But okay, so Jerry Springer passed away, and I was just thinking in my head, what would be some fun things, like fun characters to put on the Jerry Springer show?
So I didn't do 4 characters. I did 4 groups of characters because
That's what I meant. Yeah.
okay. So I did 2 Marvel, 1 DC, and 1 other. And I've got Bruce, Catwoman, and Talia. I feel like even if it were just Bruce and like women
Yeah.
that he would be on that show. Um I've also got Spider-Man, Mary Jane, and Black Cat because that is definitely a more recently talked about triangle. Um and then one that I don't know much about, but I know fans are very passionate about would be Sue, Reed, and Namor. I think that's one that you read, right?
I mean, that's just kind of pretty common in the comic book
Yeah, but I haven't
verse.
really read Fantastic Four that
Yeah.
much. Um, and then finally, I had to put Archie, Betty, and Veronica. I feel like that's a no-brainer.
Yeah. No, I agree. So for me, I thought the Summers family could be fun. You have Corsair, and then like Havoc and Cyclops will be there, but then Vulcan will be there too. And then
Yeah.
Adam X, is he their relation? We don't know. We're gonna find out on Jerry. And then this one is kind of fun. It's more of a Hercules reference. If you read Greg Pak and Fred Van Lint's Hercules, him and Namora had a thing in that, and then they broke up because Namora got to like Namor got this thing to see her truest desire, and she was shacking up with her cousin Namor.
That's
So
kind of weird.
yeah, so be a Hercules Namor. We're gonna get to the bottom of Namora wanting to bone her cousin. It's to keep the bloodline pure. That was like the whole thing because it's like a royal bloodline thing.
Man, that is way better than any of the ones I gave. That would be the most entertaining episode.
And then Hal Jordan and all of his lovers. So like he'd have old what's her name, Carol, and then he'd have what the blonde lady that was like in the Jeff Johns run that was there briefly, and then Grant brought her back, And then also the little kid Green Lantern that was like, "Hey, don't worry, I can age myself up so it's not near as creepy." And Hal's like, "This is still weird. I'm still gonna bone you though."
Really? Who wrote
Yes.
that?
I don't know. We can find out later, but I'm not. I'm. That's 100% a real thing. So you have all of them there and be like, she's only 13, and big fight breaks out. It'd be hilarious.
Okay, just kidding. That one's the most entertaining. Also,
And
did he bang Star Sapphire?
Star Sapphire is also Carol.
Okay.
So
I don't read Green Lantern.
yeah. So yeah, it's the two of the same. But and then lastly, oh, speaking of Sarah Sapphire, there was this funny thing I responded to on Twitter. This one guy that I follow, he always gets like cheap comics. He'll be like $2 pickup, and it's Sarah Sapphire, and like Superman's having to kiss her boot. And I just responded with the gift of the Dean, going like, I hope this doesn't awaken anything in me.
Amazing. I love that.
But and then lastly, Hulk and She-Hulk from Old Man Logan. Because if you haven't read Old Man Logan, Hulk banged She-Hulk a bunch, and they have a bunch of inbred kids together. And like it's not clear if it was banged or raped, but either way, that's on Jerry.
Yeah, for sure. All right, that was a fun one. I know Casey will say so at the end, but let us know which ones you think would make a fun episode of Jerry Springer. And R.I.P. Jerry. Really sad situation. I think we can all come together and say fuck cancer. So, but anyway, that is the end of the episode. So, closing plugs. Please go to facebook.com/2worldspodcast and give the page a like. You can also follow us on Twitter at 2_worlds_PC and on Instagram at 2worldspod. You can email us at 2worldspodcast@gmail.com. And please go to our YouTube channel. We're 2 Worlds Podcast on YouTube and subscribe to the channel.
And tell your friends, say, hey, listen to this podcast. And then when they say, I don't listen to podcasts, and you say, well, I guess we're not friends anymore. And also, for those that want to know, that to Google the character's name was Aricia. She was Green Lantern of Space Sector 2815. And she started off as a kid, and then she really wanted to bang Hal. So then she made herself age up, and then she banged Hal Jordan. I still haven't found out who made her
who created
yet.
her, but it's just did they do that sort of thing?
Yeah. So that's some stuff that you guys can look at your own time, I guess, and maybe get put onto a watch list.
All right, guys. Well, we'd love to stay in chat, but Casey has to protect me from crazy trailer trash people. So we'll talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye.